Hello YouTube, this is Charlie426, and today we have the review of the P-Bandai exclusive, or P-Bandai exclusive, Robot Damashii Guncannon Heavy Custom Ver Anime. Now once again, before I start, I would like to say Happy New Year to all my fans and subscribers and my viewers. Yeah, hopefully you had a great year in 2019, and hopefully you will have another great year in 2020. And also, once again, thank you for supporting my channel. Alright, so this, I guess, would be my first review of the year. Yeah, I guess being myself, I just had to review something that had a visor on its head. So once again, yeah, that's the type of person I am. But either way, let's get on to the review. So first of all, yes, this is a Robot Damashii figure, and this is P-Bandai, so this was kind of pricey for me, but I was able to manage to get it below the price that I usually have my limits on. So once again, I was very happy when this figure was announced, because I am a big fan, or a big sucker for variants like this. So this is the Guncannon Heavy Custom. Now in terms of other than the obvious backpack, it may look like just literally a blue gun cannon, but still that's not really the case. There are actually some detailed differences here and there. And we did actually see this mobile suit in the anime. Of course, it was not really well drawn, because this was we could actually see this variant in the Zeta Gundam anime. I believe this was seen in Jaburo, I believe. I could be wrong, but still, there was a scene where there was these blue gun cannons like jumping all over the place in the anime, fighting Nemos, I believe. And then, yeah, those gun cannons were actually these. They weren't just normal gun cannons in blue. Because basically, this is a upgraded version of the gun cannon, basically making it more faster, making it more usable in multi-purpose areas, while the gun cannon originally was only meant for like supporting. Now this version can now be pretty much used in most situations. Alright, so let's get on to the review. So first of all, what you get, of course, let's talk about components, because that's how we should start. So first of all, what you get, of course, is obviously the Guncannon Heavy Custom mobile suit itself. In terms of hands, I already attached the multi-purpose hands on left and right. And when you buy this kit, or when you purchase this kit and open the box, the backpack will not be actually attached right away. The backpack will be detached like this. So yeah, you can say like the backpack is also a included equipment or component, I guess, and it attaches like that easily. Okay, and then let's talk about what else you're supposed to get. Yeah, once again, any issues that the Guncannon had, the original Guncannon for anime right over there, which I brought out for comparison, any issue that this figure had is pretty much the same as this one. Of course, this one actually may have one more issue. Okay, so here we have in terms of equipment. So first of all, what you get, of course, is a bunch of hands. So other than the multi-purpose hands, we get 4 more sets. So first of all, we get is a set of trigger fingers. Second set is a semi-open hands. Third is the fully open hands, and then this one I don't think you'll be using in this version, or at least in this figure. Now these hands are originally, as far as I know, are meant for like beam sabers for other figures. But since the Guncannon doesn't actually have beam sabers, I don't think you'll be using it. But yeah, you can use your imagination to use this. So, for example, we get the typical Guncannon beam rifle, and then we have the moving scope and such, and then we have this handle. And if you're having trouble holding the handle, you can always use like this handle to actually plug the handle inside, which actually does work. So yeah, you can kind of use it if you want. But of course, the manual just tells you to hold the other handle with the other trigger finger. So yeah, it really depends on the person. So that's that. I'm gonna put that away. And then here we have a extra antenna. Definitely, I'm really glad that Robot Damashii does this. Very happy with that. And then here we have some extra grenades. We get 2 of them, pretty much the same as how we got in the Guncannon for anime. I'll leave a link in the description below so you guys can check. But basically, these grenades can be plugged into the back skirt. Of course, with that extra backpack, it gets tricky, but yeah, we can store it into the backpack. Now, I believe the original Guncannon actually had a hole on the side of the legs, but this one does no longer have that, which is still odd, because if you buy the Master Grade Guncannon, these grenades are actually stored inside the legs. So yeah, I don't think the Robot Damashii got it too correctly as well. So once again, it's good to know that we have those. And just in case if you were wondering, the way how you are able to hold the grenades, I'm not sure if I've showed this on the Robot Damashii Guncannon for anime version, but still, you can pretty much jam the grenade into the hand. Granted, the peg is still there, invisible, but still, it actually holds on to pretty well. So you can use that as well. Okay, and then we show the beam rifle. I believe this is pretty much the exact same beam rifle, so there's no changes at all. And then here we have something interesting. So while we do have the cannon option, the typical cannon option. Of course, this is kind of different in design compared to the original, but still we have the normal cannon option, and then we have this option, which is pretty much one of the main things that made me bought this, other than this being a variant. So basically, at first I was waiting for a Guncannon 2 Robot Damashii vs. Anime, or HD or Master Grade, whatever happens first, but this was announced and then showed these. So you can swap out the cannons and attach these two parts, so you can pretty much have the same equipment set as the Guncannon 2. Now at first I thought this was going to be like a Guncannon 2 custom or something like that, but I realized like the Guncannon 2 actually, other than the color, has a different style head. Now this is literally the same head as the Guncannon, because the Guncannon 2 actually has a little bit difference in terms of design for the head. So yeah, so these can be swappable pretty easily. You just need to plug the cannons out and just plug these back in. And these things also do have their own articulation, which I will show you guys later. And then here we have some effect parts. So some of these effect parts I was expecting, like these ones I was expecting, because these were also included in the normal Guncannon vs. Anime. We have these two firing effect parts. Of course, it's kind of odd to have them being in different size and lengths, but still it works, because it could mean that the cannons on the shoulder don't actually fire together. Maybe they fire like one at a time. But like, yeah, it's really nice to see these. And then we get these thruster effects, which I wasn't really expecting them. I mean, like, yeah, or at least the big ones, because the big ones I don't think they were included in the normal version. But still, we have the big ones that can be plugged onto either the backpack right over here. We have those two holes like that, or the feet if you want to do so. Of course, the feet may be a little bit stiff to fit in, but it still works. And once again, while the normal Guncannon did also have these small ones, but the interesting thing is that now these are only meant for the feet. Originally, where they went to go, or usually, now the figure does actually still have the holes. You can see on the side of the hole, on the back, there's a small hole over there. That is where the original thrusters went, or at least the small ones. So for the Guncannon, for example, you can see that hole, and yeah, these were also kind of thruster effect parts for those holes. So yeah. So definitely not expecting, but very nice to have them, because, you know, this one has a more tactical feeling, and I'm pretty sure people out there are definitely going to want to do some more tactical poses with this, and in terms of like airborne poses. Okay, so that since we're done with the components, now let's get on to the comparison now. Yeah, let me just get ready, and let's see. Now, before I go to the articulation, I'm going to go with the comparison, because articulation-wise, you could say it's pretty much the same, but there are some interesting points that I wanted to mention. So first of all, let's go talk about comparisons. So we have this side by side. Oh, and sorry to forgetting to mention about this, but the extra thing in terms of equipment is this extra grenade pouch on the side skirt. Only on this side. There's nothing on the other side. Of course, there is also one more hole, so you can attach the grenade on there as well. This one is kind of more similar to the one that we saw in Unicorn Gundam, where the Conroy Jegun has this extra like grenade pouch on the side skirt, which he throws as well. So, and only the lower one can be detached, and yeah, it's a pretty good detail. In this one, there's not much to hold it. I just want to mention that. Okay, so let's talk about like some differences or comparisons. So while to some it may be just literally a blue Guncannon, nothing too special, but when you actually look closer, there's a good amount of detail other than the color. So number one, I would definitely say the shoulder. The shoulder, there's extra shoulder armor on the Guncannon Heavy Custom now. And then other than just making it pure blue, I do really like those extra yellow touches on the overall mold suit. It really gives out, I don't know, not just because it's, despite not being green, it does give out that tactical or military more-ish look. So definitely a big plus on that. So, and then the cockpit section is kind of different. So this one was pretty a flat section right over here. In the HGUC version, I believe this was more fat, I believe. and then this one actually has a more proper looking cockpit right over here. The backpack is obviously different. Now, if you're wondering if you can detach this and attach it here, I'm not too sure yet, because I tried to take off these backpacks, but they're not coming off that easily. So I have no idea if they are the same connection at this point. One thing they, according to the box and promo pics, one more thing they added was extra wrist movement. So where you can move the wrist like extra like this. There's an extra moving point. I can't see if it's right here. Yeah, there we go. We have like this. We have a extra wrist movement right over here that can pop out, which was not present in the Guncannon. But the extra problem I mentioned is now, the main problem that I had with my Guncannon for anime was the trigger finger hand not being able to hold the beam rifle firmly. I'm not sure if that's only just me or just a common thing, or it was just me getting unlucky. But for me, the only issue I had was the trigger finger hand not being able to hold the beam rifle firmly, which makes it wobbly, which is fine. Because that does happen time to time with even with kits. But this one had the same issue. But not only that, with that extra wrist movement gimmick, I think they messed up one like important thing where you can see the wrist just moves too easily. So even if I attach the beam rifle onto the hand, the beam rifle won't stay in one position. It's going to be like wobbly all around with that extra spinning wrist. That just moves too easily. So I think that's one part they really messed up. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with the figure. So you can see the hands are just moving too easily. I'm not even giving too much power. While this one is actually pretty stiff, or at least it stays on one position. So that's one. So other than the trigger finger, which I can pretty much forgive, this one I really can't forgive. Okay, other than that, we have extra difference in the knee armor, and then I believe we go to the back, and obviously the side of the legs we have different like designs here, and then I believe the elbow armor is also on different designs, and I guess that's pretty much it. And obviously the cannon is also different. While the cannon, we're just pretty much just cylinders, if saying bluntly. But now this one actually looks more, actually has more articulation. So like before, it can only go straight at best, but this one can go even lower like this. And then this one actually does have some left and right movement, while this one did not actually have any movement as well. And the cannons actually cover less. Sorry about that, to sneeze. So one issue while I was taking pictures is that these cans would always like hinder the head, or at least it would cover up the head. Now this one, with this extra angle, it doesn't really cover up the head anymore, and that's very good. And it can go, I think but in terms of going up, it goes lower than the original. So yeah, it has its pros and cons. Alright, so now let's go on to the articulation. So the articulation one is pretty much the same. You could say it doesn't go down that much, but up pretty well. And then the cannons can go down that much, up that much, and then it has a nice kind of left and right movement. Not too much, but still is able to move. And despite having the extra shoulder armor, it does not actually really hinder the articulation as well. It still has your typical forward and backward movement for the shoulder, and then it can go to the side 90 degrees. 360 twist is possible. On the entire arm is also possible. We have a nice double jointed bend almost. Technically this should be a double jointed bend, but yeah, I guess it's just the armor that's colliding each other, so no big deal. We have a very nice ab crunch going on here, very nice. And then 360 twist, I believe, I mean, I can force it, but I don't want to break anything. So yeah, but I think it moves just enough, because keep in mind, like, this shouldn't be going 360 when you think about it, because there is a core fighter inside there. Or I'm not sure if this version has that. Yeah, I believe this one shouldn't have a core fighter, but still, the original Guncannon having the core fighter gimmick, in terms of mobile suit, I'm pretty sure these mobile suits were never meant to go 360 on the body. And then the front skirt moves up, possibly, moves up, and then the side skirt, whoop, there goes the grenade, does move a little bit, but doesn't really go up that much. And then back skirt does not move at all. And then the legs can go forward that much. And then you have a nice double jointed bend. We have a nice, that's a nice bend on the feet. Definitely nice bend on the feet. Nice side swivel going on here. And then technically it should be able to go to the side, but because of the side skirt armor, it doesn't really go that much. And then we have a nice double jointed, not double jointed, we have a nice pivot going on here. So yeah, in terms of articulation wise, being a Ver anime figure, it definitely is superb in terms of articulation. So yeah, since we've seen the basics, now I'll be right back with the first set of equipment. Okay, here we have the first set of equipment. So basically, I went with the more of a pose where it's landing, where it was dropped from the sky and now it's landing. So what I did or attached on the figure is basically all the thruster parts that I got. So all 4 thruster parts, the big ones on the backpack, and then the small ones on the feet, and then I attached both trigger fingers on the left and right hand, just to show you guys like how you can hold. What I meant was the rifle. So currently I'm holding with both hands like this, so there's no real big issue, but let's go on with some more detail on why I feel like it was very unforgivable regarding the wrist issue going on here. So here we have the figure. I'm going to take off these parts. And I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but on the flaps on the backpack also move. So yeah, you can pretty much control these as well. So currently, with holding the beam rifle in 2 hands like this, there's no issue going on because it's going to lock it into place pretty much. But number one, this was not being able to hold the beam rifle properly. Yeah, that was a big issue on the Guncannon for anime. So this one I was expecting, but so you can see the handle it's not really being held in. So I think they used the wrong hand mold where the hand is a little bit way more bigger than the handle, so which is why it's not really actually grabbing the rifle properly. Number 2 is that you can see it just spins around just too easily. This was one thing that I could not stand. So I'm a little bit angry about this, but still, I'm just happy to the fact that I have this figure. Let's put it that way. So this is the only issue I have. Other than that, yeah. So yeah, that's kind of one thing, that downside of the figure. And once again, so I'm pretty sure most of you guys, unless you actually modify this, or maybe you can, I don't know, maybe harden this to the point where it doesn't really spin on its own, then maybe you can use this as well. So there are ways to modify it, and I do have some ideas to modify it if I want to, so just saying. Alright, so we've seen the first basic set of equipment, so I'll be right back with the second one. Okay, here we have the second set of equipment. So first of all, I'd like to just say I just attached the firing effect part, which works pretty well despite them being different size and lengths. They still work pretty well for some reason. And then on the other hand, I just attached the grenade onto the hand, which once again I think that peg makes it look pretty awkward, but still that is one of the main thing that locks it into place into the hand. And then I attached the other grenade onto the side skirt just to show you guys how it works as well. And yeah, once again, if you are curious, you are also able to attach the firing effect part onto the beam rifle as well. So if you actually can pull off a more better firing pose without those wrists being in your way, you can always use that. The small one also works as well. So yeah, now I'll be right back to attach the Guncannon 2 equipment, which was basically the beam and the sensor. So I'll be right back. Okay, here is the last set of equipment. So basically what I did is I attached each trigger finger to the left and right hand, and did the double hand pose while holding on the rifle. And then on the shoulders, I replaced the cannons with the Guncannon 2 beam cannon equipment. So let's talk about it. So, and I'm basically doing the kneeling pose because I'm pretty much in Gundam Battle Operation 2. Anybody that uses the Guncannon 2 will always be hiding somewhere in this kneeling pose and then trying to snipe something, basically. Okay, so let me just get rid of the stand. So, as I mentioned, the cannons can be pretty much swapped pretty easily here. All you need to do is just, for example, I think I'll do it with this one. You can pretty much just, come on. Maybe I'm not holding it properly, but still, the main point is that, oh, come on. Yeah, these can be plugged out pretty easily. I'm not sure what's going on here, but yeah, you can just plug them out easily and then replace it with a cannon right over here. They have this plug-in gimmick, so nothing too hard to, it's not really that difficult to reattach and detach and such. So yeah. And once again, these things also do have their own articulation. You can see the hand going on. Oh, that's just terrible. So once again, the cannon can go down that much, actually, that's pretty good, and then can go up that much. Same goes for the sensor. Yeah, this one's actually like a sensor camera, so it can go down that much and then up that much. So I would assume they move together. Well, whenever the cannon's moving, I think this would move together. That's just my guess. But yeah, I actually do like this equipment more than the normal cannon, so I might actually leave it like this. Or Or definitely, I'm really hoping that we could see a Guncannon 2 ver anime as well. And that was pretty much it for the review for the Guncannon Heavy Custom. So, it's definitely a fun mobile suit variant to have and play with. Of course, the only issue that might discourage you from buying this is the problematic wrists on this one. So, just keep that in mind. Or if you have any methods to or ideas to like stiffen it, then definitely try it out. But yeah. Once again, so thank you for watching the review. This was the review of the P-Bandai exclusive Robot Damashii Guncannon Heavy Custom Ver anime. If you guys got any questions or requests, leave them comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. And also, before I end, if you're wondering, yes, you can also attach the beam equipment on beam effect part onto the cannon as well. Anyway, until then, see you guys next time.